Welcome back students to the class on media computation. Last time we discussed some of the concepts related to programming like the input arguments and scope of a function, and input arguments they behave as the placeholders, and also we discussed the concept of local variables. So we saw over here and we finished this the discussion over here. So going next, when we write real functions, so any function that is created for some serious purpose, like the ones that are already available in JES, like make picture or some other function that you write, these functions normally they behave same as they behave in mathematics. So all of you have dealt with a lot of mathematical functions. Let's suppose sine of x is a function. You give it a value angle theta in x and it will return you the sine value. So all of you know what is sine of theta. So sine of 90 is equal to 1 and sine of 0 is 0. So this is a mathematical function which you can put the value somewhere. Same is the behavior of functions in programming languages, and normally in this course we don't do much, but normally the functions they also return some value. So whenever a function returns a value, you will use the return keyword. So for example, let's say you have a function named sum, and I think you all have done this thing in the class, sum a comma b, and you use the command return to give back some value, return a plus b. So that's it. Return should be the last line in the function. So whenever the function is to finish, last line will be return. Return cannot come anywhere in the middle. Any line that comes after the return, it will generate an error. Okay. So here you see more examples of functions. What is the difference? What do you see the difference in these two functions that you see over here and here? Yes, you can pause the video and you can think over it. So the difference between these two functions, over here this function, it has one input, the picture, and when you provide this picture as input, it will decrease the picture red color by 50%, 0.5. Whereas the second function, over there you provide the picture and you also provide the amount how much you will decrease the color. Okay, so amount is a value that comes from the outside and you multiply it with the picture. Is it clear? So that is what is happening over here. So you can decrease dynamically. You want to decrease the picture color by 25% or 50% or more, it's up to you. Okay, so here you see both the functions, they are correct, they have no problem. So first one, it is perfectly okay that you can have multiple input in the functions. So this option, multiple inputs, it's okay, it's good. Which one is better option? What do you say? So the better function is this one because it is more general. Because here you can give the value how much you want to decrease the picture color, the red color in the picture. Okay, so even you can give some value like this, decrease by 50%. You can increase the red color also if you multiply the value greater than 1. You provide a value as input greater than 1, 1.25. When it multiplies with the pixel, it will increase its color. So this will increase. Okay, so this function is more general and it is more capable as compared to the other one. This is the normal approach. In general, in programming, you must write functions which are more general, which can do many things. which is not very specific or restricted. Functions should be tunable. They can do many things, and based on the inputs they can be tuned to do something specific that you want to do. So here you see this function, it can also increase, other than decrease, it can also increase the red color of the picture. So that's why this name is also not good now, because it's written decrease red. So now you can maybe give it another name which is more meaningful. Names, you should have the meaningful names. So let's say maybe you can say change red. First letter is small, not capital. Change red. Okay. So this over here is the introduction. One more thing I want to mention over here. If the multiplier that you multiply with the pixel is 0.5, now the question comes, how much in percent? So this is a typical exam question. How much in percent you decrease the color? So to solve this, just imagine, just think that your pixel has a value 100. So if it had a value of 100, you multiply it by 0.5, what will be the answer? It will be 50. Okay. So how much is the change? 100 becomes 50. How much is the change? The difference or the change. So the change I will represent it by this delta. Change is of 50. So 50 is the 50% of 100. So the change overall is 50%. Now another example. If I multiply it with 0.75, now exam question is 0.75, how much is the decrease in percent? So 100, again you take it, 100 will become 75. So how much is the change in percent? How much is the change in numbers? It is 25, which is equal to 25%. So 25 is the 25% of 100. So this is important. Now take the other example. Let's say your value given is 1.25. Now how much it will affect the value of 100? Pixel value is 100. It will become 100 multiplied by 1.25. It will become 125. Now 125, how much it has increased? What is the change? It has increased by a value of 25. So 125 minus 100, it is 25. So how much is the increase? 25%. Now I ask you, if I multiply, the multiplying amount is 2. What is the percent increase? So this is exam question. Let's say then 100 will become how much? Multiply by 2. 200. Okay. So 200, how much it has increased from 100 to 200? How much is the increase? The increase is 100. And 100 in terms of percentage, how much it is? 100 with comparison to original 100, it is 100% increase. So when we double the value, it is 100% increase. The increase is full as compared to the original value. It is same as the original value. So be prepared. One such question definitely will come somewhere in quizzes or exams. Okay. Going next. So remember, same thing they have written over here. Decrease red. Now you should change it because you can increase also. So the correct name is change red. So function should be now called as change red. Is this function more general now? Yes, definitely. It's more general because it can decrease and increase also. So this function is more general now, and it can do, normally we discussed when we started studying functions, function should do only one task at a time. So this function is doing one task. It is only changing red color. So still it is a function. Function deals with one task, and it has become more general in that task. It's not too much specific that it decreased only by 50%. No, it is changing the red color, but the change you can give, you can specify. So this is a good programming method. This is a good programming style where you create this function. Okay. So here you see another two functions. If you remember this function we discussed last time. Let's say if we have a function picture, and in the function what we want to do is that we want to make the blue color in the picture 0. So what we do is that we multiply it with 0. But practically if you look carefully, when you are multiplying with 0, why you multiply with 0? Directly use 0. You don't need to get the blue color. You get the blue color and then you make it 0. So what's the need? Directly use the set blue command. That's what is happening over here. Use only one command. Don't waste the processing power. Programming, coding, it requires that you don't waste your resources. So this program over here is ideal programming practice. This one is a bad programming practice. So both of them, they are doing the same thing, but the one on the right side, it's very bad practice because you are wasting the resource in this program. So we don't do it, but it can be a good approach when you are writing a general program and the value is coming from the outside as amount, and you can use the amount equal to 0. Now that is very valid thing because you are using the general program for one of the purpose to remove the blue color. So always when you are writing program, understandability comes first. Your program should be understandable. Don't confuse the user. Here you write, for example, too many lines, 2 lines of code, and you get the blue color and then you make it 0. Very confusing. Here it is very simple. Read the picture pixels and just make them 0. That's it. So this is good approach. Make sure that you follow this approach in your programming styles. So this course over here, this part of the course, it gives you a lot of idea what is good programming style and how to write good programming code and good programming functions. Make sure at the end of this course you learn something from this course. You get some good habits from this course that you can use in your future. Almost more than half of the projects, final year projects, they are now dependent on coding, programming at some stage. So make sure that you get some good programming habits from this course. Okay. So always try to write the programs that are understandable. So first of all, write such program code that is simple and understandable, and then you can make improvements in it. Okay, so good programming style is that you make it understandable to others. So in the previous example, this one, the left approach is good because you set the value to 0 rather than multiplying by 0. Multiplying by 0 will confuse the user. Set to 0 is more clear. Remember, another programmer or you after 6 months. I told you some times ago that a program written by you, if you observe the same program after 6 months, it is as if you are seeing totally new code. You don't remember it. So another programmer may not remember or may not have an idea to be thinking to increase or decrease the function. So if you want to make the blue color 0, directly do it. And always write programs that are efficient, doing things in a smart way. Don't waste resources. Sometimes efficiency is compromised. For example, if you remember the Make Sunset new version, so Make Sunset had 2 versions. If you go back and check, it had 2 versions, Make Sunset. So one version is this one. So these are the 2 versions. This was the old version and this is the new version. In the new version, we are reducing the blue color and then we reduce the green color. And we are calling the pixels two times, number 1, number 2. Okay, so we are wasting resources when we are calling the things twice. But there is a compromise you have to do, because what is the compromise? This program over here is not understandable, not clear, very confusing. After 6 months you will have very difficult time understanding this code. But here it is more clear and it's modular approach or hierarchical programming, hierarchical decomposition. So be careful. You have to write efficient codes, but somewhere you will compromise for understanding and readability. So this was it, and the last thing that we cover over here for this class is related to the colors. Remember, somewhere we studied the different colors, and we saw also the make color, and we saw also pick a color function. So if you remember, when we write the pick a color command, what happens is that pick a color command will open a new window and you can see a small box over there to select the colors, and also you can give the value of the color. Over there you may have noted that the colors, they can be specified as RGB, and if you change RGB a little bit, you will not see big changes. For example, R, G and B, if they are 0, 0, 0, what will be the color? Yes, definitely it's black. Okay, now let's say I ask you that I change a little bit of RGB, I make it 1, 1 and 1. What will be the color? What do you think? It will be still black. Maybe there is some change, but I cannot feel it visually. By looking at it, the feeling is not so much, I cannot feel the change. So if I have two colors which are very close to the black, for example 1, 1, 1 or 3, 4, 2. So red is 3, green is 4 and blue is 2. I cannot make any difference. I will not be able to tell which one is more close to 0, 0, 0. So for this purpose, when the colors are very close, I cannot decide which one is closer. For that purpose, what we do is we try to measure the color distance. So when we are deciding that which colors are close enough, for that purpose we measure the color distance used by the formula, same formula which is used in geometry. So just imagine, let's say in the geometry you have two planes, x and y. When you make any graph, you have two planes, two directions, x and y. Okay, and if you want, in geometry this was normal, that if you want to measure the distance between 2 points A and B, the distance is measured by this formula. So for example, this A point, its position is measured by x1, y1. Whereas the distance of B is measured by x2 and y2. Now if you want to measure this distance, the straight line distance between these 2 points, that distance is given by this formula over here. So the distance between A and B, it will be given as, you subtract the x component of the distances. So x1 is over here, x2 is here. Similarly, y1 is this one and y2 is this one. So you subtract x1 minus x2. It does not make difference, you use the smaller value or the larger value first. You are subtracting, but even if the answer is negative, you take a square. So you subtract x1 minus x2 and then y minus 1 minus y2 and you square that difference. You take the square and then you take the under root of the sum of these values. So this is what happens in geometry. So use the same concepts over here for the colors. For the colors, we suppose that we have a 3D plane, not 2D plane. And imagine that instead of X, Y, Z, we have the three colors, R, G, and B. And any point in this 3D plane, it represents one color. So let's say I have two colors, C1 and C2. I can use this formula to find the difference between those two colors, how much they are close or far from each other. Okay. So what we can do is that take two colors, just subtract their red values, their green values and their blue values and take the square, sum them and get the final under root. This will give you a difference. It will give you a number, any value. So that value or number will decide how close these colors are. So if you have three colors, let's say C1, C2 and C3, you will measure the distance between C1 and C2, C2 and C3, and then also between C1 and C3. And then you will check which color is more close. Okay. So let me give you one example. And then how can I get a blank page? So here let's say I give you three colors, a very simple example. This is a typical exam question, that's why I want to solve it very clearly so that you don't have any questions. So let's say I write one color over here as a very simple one. So 10, 5 and 12. Another color C2 is 5, 10, 10. C3 is 5, 5 and 6. I want to make it simple, so that's why I am using very small values of color. Exam question will come that which two colors are the closest. So there are three colors given. Only at a time only two of them will be very close to each other. Which one are them? So you will make a comparison between these two, then these two, and also these two. Now anyone can ask how many comparisons will be there. Okay. Now it depends on, if you remember in your college mathematics you study somewhere called as combinations. Okay. For example, you will do over here, how many colors are there? 3. How many colors you select at one time? 2. So it will give you the combination. You can use calculator to find it out. I don't remember. I think it is 3 factorial divided by, so 3 factorial is 6. 6 divided by 2 factorial, I think. Yeah. So it will be 6 divided by 2. It will give you 3. So you will create 3 pairs of values. So how you will calculate these 3 pairs? So in the exam, first of all, you will calculate C1, C2, the distance. How to calculate it? It will be equal to red color, you minus it, 5 square. So in the exam, do it properly. 10 minus 5 plus again 10 minus 5 square, it is 5 square plus 2 square. Okay. So it will give you 5, 5 is 25, 25, 50 and 54 under the root. Then you go to the next one, C1 and C3. Now over here C1 and C3 is equal to 5 square plus 0 square plus 6 square. Five square is 25 plus 6 square is 36. 25, 36, 46, 56 and then 61 under the root. Okay, and then you will calculate the last one. To C2, 3, it will give you 2 and 3 you will compare. So 0 square plus 5 square plus 4 square. So it will give you 25 plus 4, 4 is 16. So 25, 35 and 41 under the root. So even without solving the under root, still I can know easily that the smallest number is this last one, and this will be the closest value amongst these three colors. So in the exam you have to clearly write. If you don't write it, you will lose 1 mark for the answer. Many students, many times I see they do the whole calculation, they don't write the answer. Answer you have to write, you will write clearly. Hence C2 and C3 are closest matching colors. I can't write properly on the screen, but I hope it's clear to you people. Okay, so this will be a confirmed exam questions. How many combinations you will try, it will depend on the colors. Let's say if there is a long question with 4 colors, so you will compare at a time 2 colors will be compared, so it will be 4 C2. So in that case I think you will do 4 factorial 4 3 is 12, 24 divided by 2, so it should be 12. I don't know. 4, I think it will come out 6. So this formula is not correct. I think something is missing here. I think 1 factorial is missing. So here it will come out 6. 6 will come out over here. 24 divided by 4. So you will do 6 such combinations. You will try 6 different values. Okay, here you had 3. So you will compare all of them. If you have, no matter how many they are, you have to calculate all of them. Finally, the answer is must. You will write clearly the answer, what you conclude. So here you conclude that C2 and C3 are the closest matching colors. Clear? So I hope it's clear this thing. With this over here we will finish our course, and then now I will show you the project that you have to do during your break, and work on it. After the holidays you come back, first thing we will check is project. So for the project, I will upload this page on the SharePoint. So the project is the starting part is same for all the semesters. It is a menu driven picture manipulation program. It's a program that can handle or change the pictures. What you do is, you start in the program, you start with the welcome to the user. So you welcome the user to your program, and then you ask the user what they want to do. Okay, so there will be options given, a lot of options. On the second page I have given all these options are overall there are 10 options. Okay, there is some mistake over here, let me correct it. This option is already above. So 9 options are there. These options are like this. User has to select one of the numbers. I will discuss these options later. First of all, so user has to select one of these numbers from 1 until 9. So you will clearly write these options in the screen. Then you will ask the user to select an option and get the user, if that option requires requires a picture, then you will ask the user to select the picture to work on if it is needed. Okay. Then you will show the original picture. You will modify the picture and then show the original and modified, both the pictures should be shown. Okay, separately. Like I do always in the class. Original is shown separately and the modified is shown separately. And modification will be done according to the requirement, whatever is required in the option. And then you will ask the user if they want to save the picture, yes or no. If the user asks to save, then you will save it. Else, if the user asks no, then you will say the user goodbye. Thank you. There is one more thing not shown here, missing. I think I should move this option here. Here I will put one more thing. It is do you ask user if they want to modify another image. Okay, so if the user says that they want to modify another image, start from the beginning. If no, then you will say goodbye and you will finish the program, terminate. So this is the whole cycle which has to be done. What are the options? Let's discuss. Options are simple. First 3 options are related to the decreasing the red color, only decrease. Okay, so it's a small program. Remember, all these options I will check them as separate functions. Don't write the whole code as a single big block. Each should be a separate function, as I have taught. So each should be a separate function. First function should only decrease the red color by 10%. So all of them are clear. Out of these, some of these options you have done many times in the class, like grayscale, negative of a picture. Okay, and let me make it more simple for you people. Already there are many other things to do, so let me delete another options, this one also. So you have to add a sun image on the picture. So just you should know how to draw a circle, and circle should be a yellow color circle. If the user asks that selects the 6th option, you should draw a circle on the image with a yellow color that will represent a sun. Then there is a 8th option, 7th I will discuss. 8th option is draw the flag of Philippines. So Philippine flags is a little difficult. Just check it and you will note it down. It's a little difficult. Another option is number 7 one. For that option you have to go next. So it is posterize the image. Now what is posterize? Posterize means that if the image is like this, the normal human face, make it like this, red color, red and yellow. How it is done like this? It is done by this trick. For each pixel, if the red color of the pixel is less than 128, so let's say the pixel red color is 1 to 120, make it 0, red equal to 0. If it is more than 128, let's say the red color is 160, make it 255. So whatever are the color values, take them to the extreme, either 0 or 255. Also do the same thing for other colors, green and blue. When you will do it for the whole picture, the picture will become posterized. Clear? So you have to do this. It will make the picture posterize. So this is your project. These are the 8 options you have to do. Every option has a separate mark, and remember, if you are not doing some of them, you will lose marks. One very important point I mentioned so many times in the last class: if someone is cheating the code from the last semester students, trying to copy it, there is very big chance that you will not be able to explain your code. You will not understand it. So if I ask you over there, I can ask you to change the code, then you will have problem. You will not understand. And many times the old students, they have done some mistakes in the code, a lot of mistakes. That's how I know exactly. Same mistakes will be in your code, and I will know this is cheating. And then I will ask you some tricky questions and you will not be able to answer because that is not your code. A lot of things I have seen in the previous semester, students, they copy code from somewhere, and the code contains some things I never taught in the class. Some type of commands I never taught in the class. So that is clearly not a good thing. That will make your marks lose by half. 50% marks you will directly lose. So be careful. Don't be careless with your marks. So some more tips related to your project. If you want the function, for example, to only user only select the color, user will only select the options from 1 until 8, you can give this option. So just check in JES, you will get the help over there. So the option command is request integer in range. Then you put a message. So when you give it in range, it means that you can specify the range 1 until 8. User cannot write 10. 10 is wrong. Automatically program will not allow. So it's a good thing for this. So you will use this also. Moreover, there is more thing that many students ask, that they need to break the lines, how to start a new line in the message. So for that purpose, you will use the /n as you have used many times in C, C++. These are some special characters that you can use in your messages that you write in functions like show information. /n will create a new line, /t for tab, backslash, if you want to put inverted commas, you will use this. So you can do it like this. So show information, when you write cu/n letter, it means cu in one line and letter in another line. Clear? So I hope it makes things clear. Any questions, you come to the group. You have plenty of time, no excuses. Don't try to cheat code from others. Try to do it yourself. It will help you for your final year projects also. So with this, I say you good luck to all, and see you all after the vacations.